Hello there. Now let's have a detailed overview about the diagnostic standards OBD-I, OBD-II, European OBD and heavy duty OBD. Okay, HD stands for heavy duty OBD. Now before I go into that, I just want to fulfill one promise. I told you that I will show you what exactly this 0 to 99, the last two letters of the diagnostic codes mean. Well, despite my best efforts, I have to tell you that no uh, no compiled table of the diagnostic tribal codes from 0 to 99 is available because, as a single standardized resource, because usually DTCs are typically organized by vehicle manufacturer. It varies from system to system. Okay, many DTCs are manufacturer specific, meaning that some same code might have different meaning across different brands. So that's the reason I compiled a list of the DTCs which are very commonly used. So I request all of you to stop the video, pause the video and see this list which is very commonly prevalent in the market. Okay, so going through each and every thing may be very time consuming. So I request all of you to stop the video or pause the video and go one after the other. So if you want, you can take a screenshot. If you want, you can take a notebook and note everything down so that it will be handy whenever you are working on diagnostic trouble codes. But again, be very careful because, for example, here I am saying, okay, let me take a pointer. Here I am saying 40410. This problem is secondary air injection system, but in another manufacturer, it can be something else. Okay, I'm just compiled a list of the most prevalent and the most popular diagnostic trouble codes so that you can have something for reference. All right. Now let's have a brief overview of automotive diagnostics. And when it comes to OBD-I, OBD-I is introduced late 1980s, primarily in California. Purpose: monitor emissions related components. All right. Now it features manufacturer specific connectors, protocols, limited fault detection, and data access. No standardized across brand. There is no standardization across the brand. This was the biggest drawback as far as the OBD-I was concerned. This was the biggest limitation. And the other limitations are difficult for technicians to use universal tools because of the reason which I cited above, and minimal real-time data or interoperability, again because of lack of standardization which I mentioned above. Now when it comes to OBD-II, Onboard Diagnostics 2, it introduced in 1996 and it is mandatory in US vehicles. Of course, now it is mandatory throughout the world. Almost every civilized country is mandating OBD2 in its vehicles. Now, purpose is standardized diagnostics across the vehicles, and the features is universal 16-pin connector. This J1962. Now, I have an elaborate session outlined for understanding this universal 16-pin connector. We will discuss that when we come to the respective chapter. Now, again, coming to the standardized diagnostic trouble codes, this is the important feature. Real-time data access like RPM, speed, fuel trim. This is an important part of the onboard diagnostic. It also supports multiple communication protocols, CAN, ISO 9141, and the major impact is it simplifies the diagnostic for technicians because of standardization. Now, this was the biggest step or biggest positive step for the technicians because it had a ease of operability, and interoperability. Now, now coming to the enabled consumer grade scan tools and improved emissions control and vehicle reliability. All right. So these are the various improvements when it comes to OBD-I and OBD-II. Now let's briefly touch upon EOBD. EOBD stands for European Onboard Diagnostics and it's introduced in 2001 for petrol vehicles and 2004 for diesel in Europe. The purpose is European adoption of OBD-II. Okay, as I mentioned, in 1996 it came into implementation in United States of America, and naturally it migrated to or it passed on to Europe by 2001. All right, and the features are exactly same as I mentioned before. It has the same connector and protocols as OBD-II. It is tailored for European emission regulations, and it required for all the vehicles sold in Europe. Okay, now compatibility, EOBD compliant vehicles can typically be diagnosed with OBD-II tools. Now coming to heavy duty OBD, well, it is also almost the same, but there are some subtle differences which I will explain. Heavy duty onboard diagnostics. It was introduced in mid 2000s, around 2005 for trucks and commercial vehicles. The main purpose is to monitor emissions and performance in heavy duty vehicles. Okay, and now coming to the features, it tracks engine, after treatment systems, and emission controls. And it also alerts for faults via malfunction indicator lamp. Okay, now it requires robust data logging and standardized scan tool interfaces. All right, so I hope you clearly understand that just like other OBD systems, even HD-OBD has its own specific features, and it is generally adopted in US Environment Protection Association and California CARB phased in HD-OBD between 2005 and 2008. And Europe, China, India, Brazil have implemented similar standards. Well, if you are Indian, you should be happy that most of the vehicles, including trucks, are using onboard diagnostics. So naturally, the emissions out of the heavy duty trucks is also being thoroughly monitored. So just to give a comparison snapshot, when it comes to OBD-I, it is used. It was implemented in US for light duty. Features are basic, non-standardized. This was the biggest drawback. And let me reiterate that when it comes to OBD-II, it is global, used for light duty, standardized codes, real-time data. Light duty means it includes both passenger vehicles and also maybe some light commercial vehicles. And EOBD, Europe light duty and Europe compliant version of OBD-II, and HD-OBD, again it is implemented globally. Heavy duty trucks, emissions focused, robust monitoring. Okay, so I hope all of you got an overview of the various types of onboard diagnostics at a global level.